You're going through 6, 7 abilities. I shouldn't have said 6, 7. Daedra, edit that out, please. What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? We're back at it. Top 5. I said I'd get through all the roles. I want you guys to have as much information as consistently as possible. That's why we're doing these. Now, I've decided the videos will say top 5 jungles or whatever updated, and then when that video is no longer the updated version, I will take updated out of that title and put updated in the newest video as we do more of these, because it's very likely patches every 2 weeks. There's going to be consistent changes forever, like for the next year or two, assuming, you know, nothing goes crazy with Iris. So let's get into this. Top 5 mid. From number 5 to number 1. All right. Number 5, I'm sure somebody's going to argue she's somewhere higher, which I don't think is a problem. It's Neith. She's very good as a mid mage. You build her as a mage. She builds int. She has global presence with her ultimate. She's safe in lane because her backflip cannot go over walls. She's got good control. Her burst output is ridiculous. At level 3, she can do like 75% of a squishy's health. She's very valuable. Here's her build. It's simple. There's options as well. It's great. You're going cooldown starter, ancient signet for the consistent burst. You want this because whenever you ult somebody, you want to make sure they die. So that extra yellow number of damage you're going to get off of this is big. Plus in lane, you are looking to burst somebody down. Your cooldowns are a little longer. They're not crazy long, but you're not looking to spam at level 1 or level 3, level 4, level 5. You're looking to get that kill. Ancient signet's going to do that. Now, if you are somebody that isn't consistent with their mechanics, or you just fight way too much and you enjoy it, swap that ancient signet out for a Chronos pendant. The Chronos pendant will give you the earlier cooldown. You'll spam more, you'll get more ults off. Now we're going into Thoth. Thoth is one of the best pure int items in the game. It's a lot of power. That's it. Pair it with the Cosmic. Cosmic is 20 cooldown. It's 85 int, and then at 85 int is scaling even higher because of the max mana. On top of that, all of the int from the regular intelligence of the max mana is scaling even higher because of Rod of Tahuti. I think the item gives you like 135 int if you got Thoth and Rod. Plus it's 20 cooldown. Versus the flip side, a Chronos pendant is giving you the 55 int plus 25%. So you're getting like 70, 65, 70 int off of this item in total. Cosmic giving me 135, 50 more int. That's a big deal. That's a lot of int to have over top of Chronos pendant. So Cosmic is just super clutch to me. I think the item is insanely undervalued by most players. Then we have a Rod because you have to build it because the passive is OP. Obsidian Shard for the burst. Soul Reaver. If they have HP items on their tanks, Soul Reaver is very, very, very valuable. If they don't have any HP on the tank, it's likely the item is still good and not something you have to swap out. If you want to swap it out, you can swap it out for more cooldown, or you could swap it out for just a pure int item. Ideally, probably keep the Soul Reaver, maybe go with Soul Gem. Maybe. That's the full build. Now, why is Neith being played? I talked about how she's safe in lane, and she has a global presence, and her early burst is good. On top of that, in actual team fight presence, she controls a large area of the map with her AoE abilities. Her 1 is an AoE. It's a root. It's, you can hit multiple people. It's a big ability. It's really easy to hit. Your 2, very annoying ability. Super strong ability, covers a big area. Gives you sustain. She's got built-in sustain. That's always valuable. She's got the backflip, which does a crazy slow off of it. And then all of these things synergize together with her passive and do bonus damage whenever you drop the weaves from your abilities and blow them up, which the backflip can do or the 1 can do. She's just strong. Her damage output is ridiculous, and she's very, very easy to play. So she's something that I would want a say you're all frolled in the mid lane. This is a god I'd want you to play. Because if you aren't good at rotating, you don't really know when to do anything, you don't know when to do this, all you know is clear wave, stay safe, you can do that on Neith and still be very relevant through the early and mid game, and then extremely relevant into the late game because you hit hard. I like Neith for that reason. On top of that, if you're a good player, she just goes crazy. You have really unlimited potential because of the now in Smite 2 being able to backflip over walls. That changes the whole game. You're never truly out of position because you can use those walls to get away on people that don't have leaps, on people that don't have any mobility at all, or if their leaps are down. If it's going to backflip you into your tower, those things keep you alive. I love Neith. She's very, very, very strong right now. Number 4 on our list, Merlin. Merlin is kind of the flip side of the opposite of Neith. If you are not a very confident, consistent player with time on Merlin, Merlin is not something you should be playing. You need to know which stance to use. You need to know how to use the build you're going, and that's why we have a couple builds here. We have a standard mid build. which is going to focus around a bit of cooldown, a lot of power. That Soul Reaver can be swapped out for a Soul Gem to get even more cooldown. You can also change this build out even deeper and not go the Thoth and not go the Cosmic and go into a Chronos Pendant and a Spear, a Chronos Pendant and a Soul Gem and a Spear of Deso. You can swap these out for true cooldown items, essentially is what I'm telling you. And then this Soul Reaver can also turn into another item. You can get all the cooldown items if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could if you're just trying to pure spam and they're leaving you alone. It's unlikely that's going to happen. The better build, if you can get used to it, is a Polynomicon first item. Because you have so many abilities that you're using, you get ridiculous amount of Polynomicon procs. It also pairs well with the passives from your 3. If you're in fire stance, you're getting auto attack, extra auto attack damage off. You're going through 6, 7 abilities. I shouldn't have said 6, 7. Daedra, edit that out, please. You're going through, you've got your dash, you've got the full kit, the 1, 2, 3, or say the 1, 2, then the stand swap, the 1, 2. The stand swap is also going to proc poly. The poly does a knock up, or the ult does a knock up, so you get a free poly proc. Basically, you can poly auto like 8 times in a full rotation. Not very few people do this. You have to know how to use this and be aggressive if you're going to do this. You're pairing it with a ton of cooldown and a good amount of int and a Soul Reaver. Why is Merlin good? Best wave clear, one of the most aggressive mages in the game, heavy control, consistent non-stop damage, good objective burn, good team fight. While you don't have the hardest CC, those knockups and suck-ins from the Void stance and your ultimate are very, very good. You have slows on your Frost stance. Now, the one tip I will give you is your fire stance should be your least used stance 99% of the time. Your Frost stance is going to be very, very good, consistent, high damage, but not a lot of control. Your Void stance is going to be good damage with control. That is a good setup, meaning it'll start team fights very, very well. Your your fire stance is mainly for being dove. If a team is diving on top of you and you cannot get away, you full commit by dropping the fire at your feet and then wanting, and you try to kill somebody. Would not recommend Aspect on Merlin right now. Definitely not for your average player. I would recommend testing Merlin and seeing if you're comfortable with him, some in casuals, and then taking him in a ranked if you are, because he dumpsters. He's non-stop pumping damage, and I think an objective burn mage has big value in the lower brackets because your team doesn't listen. Look, I get it. You call gold, nobody shows up. So if one person shows up, you can still clear it with Merlin, where a lot of other mages have no chance of doing that. Number 3 on our list, Hecate. Now, I hated Hecate for a long time. She felt so weak for a long time. I don't know if it was item changes. I don't know if she got buffed. I truly don't know the moment it happened. I just know she's very, very good right now. Very good. A standard mid build with a bunch of cooldown. And then I have a proc build, which is a yellow number build with Ancient Signet, Soul Gem, Soul Reaver, so you get 3 procs. She's good. You have to know how to use her 2. You have to know how to use her 1. If you don't know how her 2 works, you throw it in the air. Everyone who uses ability under that 2 then charges the 2. At max charges, it gets like 8. So if 8 abilities get used under the 2, you hit really hard with the 2. Your 1 has a mez attached to it. The mez gets procced by hitting other gods with abilities and autos. So if you land your 2 on somebody, or you auto somebody, or you 3 somebody, it can give you a mez for your 1. Whenever you have your mez, you have a free setup on your ultimate or a free setup on your 2. So you save those mezzes to combo, and you just consistently throw out damage. However, with all of that being said, your 3 is your best ability. Your 3 is your hardest hitting ability with the most scaling, meaning it can, the later the game, the harder it hits than anything else. You can throw it on your teammates. It gives you movement speed. It gives your team a magic shield, or whoever you put it on gets a magic shield. So it's a defensive ability. It's our hardest hitting ability. It can be thrown at range on somebody that you aren't even near or can't even hit. And it gives you movement speed, so it keeps you alive. That 3 is crazy. And it allows you to have insane turns and 1v1s and 1v2s when you are close to gods. And then your ultimate. The ultimate team fight ultimate, right? Huge mobility for anybody who uses it. Force move the enemy team wherever you want them. Big range, huge ability, hard to miss. Crazy in lanes because you can use it to bait people into your tower. If you're fighting in the middle of your lane, you throw your ult into the tower, it takes them into the tower, right? There's crazy potential from Hecate's ultimate. She's easily one of the top 5 mids. She's definitely one you have to be consistent with and good with. I see so many like Obsidian players, which is supposed to be higher rated. It's really not right now. That player do nothing. They're just AFK. You need to put in the time. You need to watch some videos. And if you can do that, you will go crazy with her. That was number 3, I think, on our list. Now, our top 2, not crazy surprising, I don't think. Number 2 is Eset. She's strong. They put her out. She has healing. She has damage mitigation in her ultimate. Her 3 is a shield, her 3 is a slow, or 3 is a pen shred. When there's no flat pen shred in the game, then you have her 3 come out, you get extra pen. You have a ranged stun, which does a ton of damage. You have a 1 that goes off very quickly, gives you movement speed, does a lot of damage. She's an aggressive mid. I have the aggressive build here and a standard build here. Aggressive build implements Polynomicon into the late game, because if you 3 somebody, where you shred their protections and you slow them, and you auto, it should be a free auto, your poly hits for like 700 at that point. They're still slowed after that poly auto, you throw your 2. The 2 stuns them, procs another poly. Auto them with the poly, they're dead. If that's a non-tank god, you can 3 them, auto them with poly, 2 them, auto them with poly, they are dead. That is how much damage you can do with 1 ability, really 1 damage ability and 1 non-damage ability, and 2 poly procs. I like this build a lot if you are able to hit squishies. If you have junglers diving you, this will insta-kill a jungler while also giving you the ability to run from them with your Gem of Focus. You get a lot of mobility from your 1, you get a lot of mobility from Gem of Focus. You also slow them. That's a huge turn in terms of movement speed and distance you can create with an ability, with an item, and with a slow and another ability. Love this build. Probably the most fun build I've run on her the entire time. Also have a standard mid build where you're just getting good power and cooldown, and you play around a Soul Reaver where you can kill tanks in a late game. I like this build as well. Not a lot of downside. She's just good. She wins lane. She full clears at like level 1 with her 1, or maybe it's level 3 with her 1, or the second rank of her 1. That's automatic pressure. You've got good control. You have good self peel. You have good peel from your teammates. You have good range. You have good objective play because of your ultimate. The one downside to Eset is you don't have a CC immunity and you don't have an instant movement. So if your positioning is terrible and you're being jumped on by gods that do not care about your silence or do not care about your 1, so say a Fenrir, your 1's not gonna do anything for him, but you can silence him if your silence is brutalized. Or if it's a Mercury, you really are not getting away from a Mercury, so you have to position really well. If you can't position well, that's where you're gonna see the downside for a god like Eset. But that's all mids, that's all ADCs. That is really not a good excuse. You should just learn to position with them and get better with the mechanics on the abilities, and you'll see a lot of success on this god. I like Eset. The one problem you're gonna have with Eset is she's probably the best support as well right now. So you might be fighting for her in 2 roles if you really, really want to play her. Now, number 1, easiest, hardest hitting mage in the game. I have a cooldown build, which I just thought was fun. I thought this build was so fun when Agni was feeling a little weaker, when mage items weren't getting buffed. This build's fun as hell. I'm telling you that right now. It's fun as hell. Probably wouldn't run it right now. I like my high power build, which incorporates Cosmic. You can also, I'll edit this in real time for you guys. You can also swap items like I mentioned before, and it's not a problem. Like, there's no issue with it. That swap would be this into a soul gem, more cooldown, right? You could also swap out your Cosmic at that point. Once you lose Thoth, you shouldn't build Cosmic, in my opinion. You could do this into a spear, more cooldown with no Thoth. So this is if you don't build Thoth. Boom. So here's your optional items. I'd still keep the Soul Reaver in this build, and I'm gonna update this. And you guys will be able to see the swapped out items below. Very strong build if you're just looking for more cooldown and more consistent spam. You're not looking for that extra build. Outside of that, pretty much stays the same. You have to have a rod on every mage. If you don't build Ratatouille in mage builds, you lose out on like 300 int, and then the god does no damage. Rod is a must build in your first 4 items on every mage build. They have to do something to Rod eventually. I'm not really sure what they're going to be able to do. Now, why is Agni good? Agni's honestly just super straightforward. Range setup. Not a lot of mages have a guaranteed rage stun setup. That in itself carries the kit. Wouldn't need anything else. On top of that, you have ridiculous consistent damage. You can literally just throw out your bomb stun onto somebody for the sake of bomb stunning somebody. Just because you want to, because you have 2 more coming up, right? You can throw bombs on a 1 target and swap targets. You always have that damage build up ready to go. Your 3 is very good mobility. It's a long dash. It clears, it does damage behind you, and you can use it for self peel. It's not a leap, but it is a very strong dash. It is also knock-up immune, I believe. So that is even more value on top of it. You can stun off of it if you're trying to self peel. The damage there is kind of cracked. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Right now, hopefully this gets changed. Right now, gods that are in the air, Rama ult, Thor ult, Thanatos ult, you can do abilities under them. So if Thor's up in the air, you can Agni dash him and it will burn him, because he's technically still on the ground for some reason. It's a bug. Don't know how long it's gonna last. Hopefully by the time this goes out, maybe it is fixed. I don't know, but it's been happening pretty much the whole time Smite 2's been out. Agni also has self setup. You can bomb stun somebody. So you throw your bomb and stun them in the air with the 1, or stun them when the bomb comes out of the air with the 1. You follow up with a 2, you follow up with a dash. You have a full combo where you just kind of absolutely obliterate somebody if you're trying to full commit to them. You also have a secondary combo. You could bomb stun, throw your 2 out, and then bomb and run away if you wanted to. Or you could just be running around and throw 3 bombs on somebody without a stun just to poke them and be annoying. Agni's easy. Agni is simple. Agni has a lot of control, and Agni has a lot of consistent damage, where if you're bad mechanically, you have other abilities to make up for a bad mechanical play. You ult on Poseidon and you miss, you're cooked. You ult on Agni and you miss, you've got 2 more, plus your 1 is recharging already, so you're gonna have 3 again in a second. Agni's very strong. Pretty much the guaranteed go-to god if you're a mid laner and you are looking for good and easy. Very, very strong and easy to play. Love the god. Really, really highly recommend playing. Those are my top 5 mid mages. There's obviously, you could throw in honorable mentions. Kukulkan, it's really hard right now, but he's not consistent. He also isn't super safe. Janus, ridiculously good god. Actually, we're gonna talk about Janus. I don't even think I put builds up for, I put a standard mid build up for Janus. Janus is crazy, but Janus is the Aladdin of the jungle. Meaning, if you aren't a high tier player, one of the better mids in the entire game, you're probably not getting a lot of value out of Janus consistently. You need to know how to portal your teammates around without needing to portal yourself. You need to know how to set up people with your slows and your portals. You need to know when to portal combo, and it's not going to put you out of position. You know how to use your ult and get value out of your ult consistently, even if you're not hitting it. You need to farm very well, and you need to stay safe. Meanwhile, the gods I told you in mid, your Merlins, your Hecates, your Esets, your Agnis, those gods can kill Janus. One mistake from Janus and Janus is dead against those gods. Neith, even. You're dead. You're just going to get one tapped. Janus is not a god I recommend playing for your average player, unfortunately. Definitely once you get up into the mid lane and you're grinding ranked and you're feeling yourself, start putting Janus into your play because he's very strong. He's the one honorable mention that, just like Aladdin, if we did a high tier player, the best players in the game playing the game tier, like top 5 mids, Janus would be in there because we could drop out other gods that you don't need the ease of playing them. Not for everybody, just not for everybody. Hopefully you guys like this top 5 video. Hit the like button if you want more of it. Let me know which top 5 you want next, and I will see you in the video later tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.